Neighbor, let me ask you something. Did you know there are plants out there, real, living plants, that can take dead, lifeless soil and turn it into rich, healthy, nutrient-packed earth again? I know it sounds almost magical, but trust me, it's absolutely real. Maybe you've been staring at a patch of dirt in your yard wondering, is this soil done for? Is it even worth saving? Or maybe everything you plant there just refuses to grow. I've been in that exact spot, and it's frustrating, extremely frustrating. But here's the good news. Fixing dead soil doesn't have to be hard, expensive, or scientific. In fact, some plants are so easy, so ridiculously beginner-friendly, that you can simply grow them, and they'll do the restoration work for you. And today, neighbor, I'm going to show you the top 5 most powerful plants that can naturally revive poor, compacted, nutrient-depleted soil. Even the kind you think is hopeless. If you're ready, let's bring your soil back to life. Neighbor, the very first plant I absolutely have to talk about is clover. Why? Because clover is one of those rare plants that feels almost unfairly powerful. It looks soft, gentle, harmless, yet the moment it takes root, it begins doing something incredible underground. Clover is a natural nitrogen booster, meaning it pulls nitrogen straight from the air and tucks it into the soil as if it's restocking a pantry that's been empty for years. And trust me, when your soil is dead, nitrogen is the very first thing it's starving for. Clover doesn't just add nutrients, it rebuilds the entire personality of your soil. It loosens the texture, softens hard patches, slows erosion, and even suppresses weeds like a quiet bodyguard. And here's the part that still amazes me today. Clover works even in soil that looks hopeless, the kind you're embarrassed to show anyone. Planting it is almost laughably simple. Scatter the seeds, rake lightly, water gently, and walk away. That's it. No digging, no fussing. Clover wants to grow. It practically insists on living. Let it run through a season, then either mow it down or turn it into the soil. As it decomposes, it releases a burst of nitrogen-rich organic matter, feeding microbes, attracting earthworms, and waking your soil up from its long sleep. If there is one plant that can revive weakened earth with almost no effort, it's clover. Neighbor, if clover is like a quiet soil nurse, then Comfrey is the underground miner, the one that digs deep, pulls up hidden treasures, and drops them right where your plants can reach them. Comfrey has insanely deep roots. We're talking several feet down into the subsoil, where minerals like potassium, calcium, and phosphorus sit locked away, completely out of reach of shallow-rooted vegetables. Comfrey reaches down, grabs those nutrients, and stores them in its big, lush leaves. And that's where the magic starts for us. Planting comfrey is much easier than it looks. The best way is to start from root cuttings or crowns, not seeds. You simply dig a small hole about 5 to 8 centimeters deep, tuck the root piece in, cover with soil, water well, and you're done. Space each plant about 45 to 60 centimeters apart. Give it a permanent spot. Along a fence, behind your vegetable beds, near fruit trees. Because once comfrey settles in, it does not like to leave. Its roots are so deep that digging it out completely is almost impossible. So we treat comfrey like a long-term partner. Comfrey grows best in full sun to partial shade and appreciates deep watering in the first few weeks. After that, it becomes extremely tough and drought-tolerant. The real fun begins when the leaves are big and lush. You can chop them down 3 or 4 times a year. Lay the leaves directly on the soil as a thick mulch around fruit trees, tomatoes, peppers, or any hungry crop. As they break down, They release those deep-mined nutrients right back into the topsoil. You can also stuff a bucket full of comfrey leaves, fill it with water, and let it sit for 2 to 3 weeks. It will smell terrible, but that comfrey tea is a powerful liquid fertilizer. Just dilute it about 1 part tea to 10 parts water and use it to feed your plants. If your soil is tired, compacted, and poor, comfrey is like a natural nutrient pump and soil loosener all in one. Put it in the right place once, and it will keep feeding your garden for years. The third plant we absolutely must talk about is the mighty Daikon Radish. And trust me, this one is a game changer if your soil is hard, compacted, or feels like you're trying to dig through concrete. Daikon Radish doesn't just grow, it drills. Its long, thick taproot pushes straight down through tough soil layers, breaking apart compaction, creating air channels, and improving water flow deep underground. Think of it as nature's soil aerator. Except you don't have to rent a machine or break your back doing it manually. Planting Daikon Radish is wonderfully simple. You don't need perfect soil. In fact, poor soil is exactly where it shines. Just loosen the top inch or two if you can, sprinkle the seeds, cover lightly with soil, and water gently. That's it. Seeds germinate fast in cool weather, usually within 5 to 7 days. Daikon grows best in fall or early spring when temperatures are mild. As the plant grows, its taproot burrows deeper and deeper, sometimes reaching a foot or more below the surface. And here's where the magic happens. When winter arrives, or when the radish completes its cycle, you simply let it die in the soil. Yes, leave it right there. The root rots naturally, leaving behind long, hollow tunnels that loosen the ground, improve drainage, and make it dramatically easier for the next round of plants to establish roots. Daikon Radish also brings organic matter back into dead soil as it decomposes. It feeds microbes, attracts worms, and suppresses weeds during its growth phase, all without you having to lift a finger. If you want a plant that breaks hard soil for you, literally does the digging for you, then Daikon Radish is the hero your garden has been waiting for. Now we move on to a plant that works fast. And when I say fast, I mean unbelievably fast. If your soil feels tired, dull, or lacking life, buckwheat is like giving it an energy drink. This little plant grows quickly, fixes soil structure, pulls nutrients up, and transforms dead ground into living earth in as little as 30 to 40 days. Yes, seriously, just over a month. Buckwheat thrives even in poor, sandy, or compacted soil. It doesn't need rich nutrients to start. In fact, it creates nutrients as it grows. Planting it is extremely simple. Scatter the seeds over the soil, rake lightly to cover them, water gently, and that's it. The seeds germinate fast, often within a few days, and soon you'll see a soft green carpet spreading across what used to be barren dirt. One of buckwheat's superpowers is its ability to break up tough soil and improve drainage. Its fine roots push through the soil, making tiny channels that help water move downward instead of pooling on top. At the same time, buckwheat releases natural acids that make phosphorus, a nutrient many poor soils lack, more available to future plants. And neighbor, when buckwheat blooms, your garden will be buzzing with bees and beneficial insects. Those delicate white flowers aren't just pretty. They help restore ecological balance. Now, here's how you use buckwheat to rebuild soil. Once it reaches full bloom, simply mow it down or cut it at the base. Then leave everything on the soil surface or lightly work it into the top layer. Buckwheat decomposes quickly, turning into a soft, rich layer of organic matter that wakes up microbes and boosts soil fertility almost instantly. If you need a plant that revives soil fast, buckwheat is your quickest, simplest, most reliable ally. The fifth plant we need to talk about is alfalfa. And let me tell you right now, this one is nothing short of extraordinary. If Clover is the gentle healer and Daikon is the soil drill, then alfalfa is the long-term architect of healthy soil. It doesn't just fix problems, it rebuilds the land from the inside out. Alfalfa has roots that dig unbelievably deep. I'm talking up to 10 feet in the right conditions. That means it reaches nutrient layers your vegetables could never touch, pulling up calcium, nitrogen, iron, potassium, and more. And just like Comfrey, alfalfa stores all those nutrients in its leaves and stems, ready for you to return them to the soil. Growing alfalfa is surprisingly easy. Scatter the seeds over loosened soil, rake lightly, and water gently. It germinates best in spring or fall when temperatures are cool and steady. Once established, it becomes extremely tough, drought-tolerant, heat-tolerant, and able to survive where many other plants fail. Give it a sunny spot, and let it do its thing. Now here's the exciting part. Alfalfa isn't just a nitrogen fixer, it's a super nitrogen fixer. It works with soil microbes to capture nitrogen from the air and store it in tiny nodules on its roots. When you cut the plant down or till it into the soil, all that nitrogen becomes available to future crops. To use alfalfa for soil restoration, let it grow for a season or two, then cut it at the base and leave the biomass on top of the soil, or work it lightly into the top few inches. As it decomposes, it becomes an incredibly rich compost-like layer. Many gardeners even grow alfalfa just to harvest it and add it to compost piles. It speeds up decomposition and supercharges nutrient content. If you want a long-term, powerful, natural way to revive dead soil, alfalfa isn't just an option. It's a soil-building powerhouse. Now that your soil is waking up again, softer, richer, more alive, the next step is making sure it stays that way. Because healthy soil isn't just something you fix once. It's something you build, nurture, and protect like a living heartbeat in your garden. The first thing your soil needs is organic matter, consistently. Compost is your best friend here. Even just 1 or 2 handfuls added every month can make a huge difference. It feeds microbes, keeps the soil loose, and helps it hold moisture in drought while draining well in heavy rain. If you want soil that stays fertile for years, make compost part of your routine. Next is mulch. And neighbor, mulch is magic. A thin layer of dried leaves, straw, or grass clippings on top of your soil acts like a blanket. It keeps moisture in, guards against heat, and slowly breaks down into more organic matter. Mulch protects your soil the way a roof protects a house. Another key habit is rotating crops. Don't plant the same thing in the same spot year after year. Different plants draw different nutrients, so rotating them keeps the soil balanced and prevents exhaustion. Even a simple rotation, leaf crops one season, root crops the next, works wonders. And here's something many beginners overlook. Avoid heavy tilling. Overworking the soil destroys its natural structure and harms earthworms and microbes. Instead, let your soil build itself. Add organic matter on top and let nature mix it slowly. Finally, keep planting. Bare soil is vulnerable soil. Even if you're not growing vegetables, use cover crops, flowers, or ground covers. Living roots keep soil alive. Healthy soil is a journey, neighbor. One small habit at a time. But if you follow these steps, your garden will reward you with strength and resilience year after year. Neighbor, these 5 plants I shared with you today aren't just theories or garden myths. They're the exact plants I used when my own soil felt dead, hard, compacted, and refusing to grow anything. And let me tell you, watching the soil slowly come back to life was one of the most rewarding things I've ever experienced in the garden. If these plants could revive the tired ground in my yard, I promise they can do the same for yours. You don't need expensive fertilizers, fancy machines, or perfect conditions. You just need to start. One seed, one patch of soil, one small step. And neighbor, you're not alone in this. We're learning, growing, and rebuilding our gardens together, one plant at a time. If this guide helped you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, may your soil grow softer, richer, and more alive each day.